Stellantis has just detonated a pricing bomb in the auto industry, and the shockwaves are ripping across the entire market. We're talking unbelievable 60% discounts, numbers so aggressive that even veteran analysts are calling this the most extreme price slash of the decade. Dealerships are reporting stunned customers walking in thinking it's a typo, only to realize Stellantis really did just flip the entire pricing model upside down. And competitors, they're panicking, because nobody, absolutely nobody, saw Stellantis pulling a move this bold, this ruthless, and this strategically dangerous. This isn't a standard seasonal promotion. Stellantis is unloading inventory like there's no tomorrow, and insiders reveal it's part of a massive high-stakes gamble to dominate the truck and SUV market before 2026. Models that were once considered too premium to mark down, like the Ram 1500, the Grand Cherokee, and the Durango, are now being advertised at prices that undercut even entry-level imports. Consumers who were planning to buy used cars are now pivoting overnight because Stellantis' brand new models are suddenly cheaper than 3-year-old vehicles with 40,000 miles. Nothing like this has happened in years. And here's where the real chaos begins. Ford, GM, Toyota, they're all scrambling behind the scenes. Internal leaks suggest boardroom emergency meetings, pricing strategy reviews, and even talks of halting production until they can figure out how to respond without destroying their profit margins. Stellantis is burning short-term profits to seize long-term dominance, and if it works, it'll rewrite the playbook for price wars in the US auto market. But if it fails, the financial fallout could be catastrophic. Dealers themselves are stunned. Many are saying they've never seen traffic like this. Families who were months away from buying are rushing in early. Truck enthusiasts who always dreamed of owning a Ram Rebel or a Charger Scat Pack are suddenly realizing it's actually within reach. The showrooms are packed, the lots are emptying, and Stellantis seems perfectly fine with it. They want volume, they want numbers, and they want headlines. Every major news outlet is scrambling to piece together what triggered this extreme pivot. But one thing is certain, Stellantis has forced every competitor into a corner. Meanwhile, analysts have started calling this the Stellantis shockwave, because the ripple effects aren't just hitting American automakers, they're shaking the entire global market. European and Asian brands are watching US pricing trends collapse in real time. Resale values are plummeting, used car dealers are furious, and customers who bought last month are already seeing the value of their vehicles tank. It's a price correction so abrupt that even economists are weighing in, warning that this could destabilize the entire auto sector if competitors attempt to match these extreme discounts. And the most surprising part, Stellantis doesn't seem worried at all. In fact, their executives appear confident, almost too confident, that this move will corner the market just long enough for them to reposition for their next big shift, electric trucks and hybrid SUVs that they plan to launch at scale in 2026. If the strategy works, Stellantis could emerge as the most disruptive automaker of the decade, transforming from an underdog into a market dictator practically overnight. But what they're risking behind the scenes is even bigger. Stellantis' gamble becomes even more shocking when you look at what's happening inside their supply chain. Suppliers are reporting urgent production increases, emergency part orders, and rapid assembly line adjustments, almost as if Stellantis is planning for a sales surge they already know is coming. It's a level of confidence that terrifies competitors, because it suggests this discount wave isn't a desperate move. It's a calculated strike. Stellantis is essentially saying, if we can flood the market now, we control it later. And so far, the market is bending in their favor. Customers are responding with overwhelming force. Social media is exploding with videos of people walking out of dealerships stunned, holding paperwork showing thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, knocked off sticker prices. Word of mouth is spreading faster than any ad campaign Stellantis could have paid for. And this is where things get messy for everyone else. The more people share their insane deals online, the more pressure mounts on Ford, GM, Toyota, Honda, and even Tesla to react. These brands had been raising prices for years, relying on demand to carry them. But in a single move, Stellantis has flipped consumer expectations upside down. Now buyers expect deals, big deals, deals that other automakers simply cannot afford to offer. Things behind closed doors at Ford and GM are reportedly boiling. Sources claim executives are terrified of a discount spiral, a catastrophic scenario where every automaker slashes prices to stay competitive, tanking profits industry-wide. This is the exact nightmare economists warned about last year. If Stellantis keeps the pressure on long enough, the entire auto sector could be forced into a profit crisis that might take years to recover from. But Stellantis seems ready for a fight. Their cost structure, their global platform sharing, and and their aggressive inventory strategy give them an advantage most competitors lack, and they're using it without hesitation. Even more surprising, banks and lenders are quietly worried. With brand new SUVs and trucks suddenly going for used car prices, the value of existing auto loans is dropping. Repossession departments are preparing for a spike. Leasing companies are staring at massive losses because thousands of vehicles they expected to hold value are now worth far less. This is a financial ripple effect that could extend far beyond car lots. It could hit insurance companies, rental fleets, and even corporate fleets that plan to resell their vehicles later at predictable values. Stellantis didn't just start a price war, they may have triggered a market correction. But here's where things take an unexpected turn. Insiders are whispering that Stellantis has been preparing for this moment for more than a year. They've been building inventory quietly, shifting production to low-cost facilities, and stockpiling certain components to ensure they could sustain high-volume sales even under extreme price cuts. This wasn't spontaneous. This was a plan, and if that's true, it means competitors are already behind, months behind. Stellantis may have set a trap, and everyone else is walking right into it. And the final twist, consumers are now asking the one question that scares rivals the most. If Stellantis can afford to do this, why can't everyone else? That single question could redefine consumer expectations for the next decade, because once buyers get used to 60% discounts, the era of inflated MSRPs might be gone forever. Dealership insiders say the shock on customers' faces is priceless. People who walked in expecting a small discount if they negotiate hard are seeing unheard of markdowns printed right on the window stickers. No haggling, no awkward desk negotiations, no finance manager games. Stellantis has stripped away the entire pressure cooker buying experience and replaced it with something brutally simple: rock bottom prices, up front, take it or leave it. And this is creating an emotional buying frenzy. Buyers who plan to think about it are now closing deals on the spot, terrified they'll miss out if inventory dries up. Meanwhile, Stellantis dealerships report something else competitors don't want to hear: customers defecting in massive numbers. Ford loyalists are walking out with Ram keys. Toyota families are choosing Grand Cherokees. GM truck owners are trading in Silverados for heavily discounted Ram Rebels. This isn't just a price move, it's a loyalty shift. For years, customers stuck with certain brands out of habit or legacy. Stellantis just shattered that. Price is the ultimate equalizer, and right now, Stellantis is offering deals no one can emotionally or financially ignore. Now the pressure is boiling inside Toyota and Honda, the two companies historically known for avoiding price wars, but this time they may not have a choice. Their dealerships are seeing slower foot traffic, shrinking reservations, and buyers demanding Stellantis level prices that simply aren't possible for them. Sources say Toyota executives are furious, calling Stellantis' tactic reckless and market destabilizing. But behind closed doors, analysts claim Toyota is modeling emergency pricing strategies of their own. The fear is real and the clock is ticking. The used car market is taking the hardest hit. Dealers who bought vehicles at high auction prices are now drowning in inventory they can't move. Why? Because Stellantis just made new cars cheaper than many used ones. Imagine a 2022 truck sitting on a lot for $35,000, but a brand new Ram 1500 next door goes for $28,000 after discounts. Buyers instantly stop caring about used. Panic is sweeping across the pre-owned market, with dealers slashing prices daily just to stay afloat. Some analysts are even predicting a used car crash if Stellantis continues this strategy into the new year. Financial analysts warn the biggest shock may still be coming. If Stellantis sees a massive spike in market share, which they almost certainly will, Wall Street's reaction could reshape the power ranking of global automakers. Stellantis could leapfrog rivals overnight, becoming the most disruptive manufacturer in the Western auto industry. Investors hate instability, but they love dominance. And right now, Stellantis is playing a high-risk, high-reward game that could turn them into the new kingmaker of the US car market. But beneath all the headlines and economic tremors, there's one more layer to this story, one that almost nobody is talking about. Stellantis seems to be preparing for something bigger, something that explains why they're willing to burn profits today to seize market control tomorrow. Rumors point to one massive upcoming shift that could redefine everything we think we know about the auto industry. Industry insiders now believe Stellantis is setting the stage for a massive technological pivot, one that requires a customer base so large, so locked in, and so brand loyal that competitors won't be able to recover. And that means one thing: Stellantis might be preparing to launch an entire new generation of electric and hybrid vehicles at prices no other automaker will be able to match. Think of it like a chess move: flood the market now, dominate customer loyalty, then flip the switch and drive millions of existing Stellantis owners straight into their next-gen EV ecosystem. Documents leaked from European suppliers hint at Stellantis secretly accelerating development of ultra-low-cost battery platforms and next-gen motors. These aren't prototypes, they're reportedly production-ready systems designed for high-volume rollout. Combine that with Stellantis' global factory network, many operating at lower costs than US-based rivals, and suddenly the 60% discounts make perfect sense. They're clearing space, they're clearing old stock, they're preparing the battlefield for something bigger than a price war, a technology takeover. Competitors see the writing on the wall. If Stellantis captures millions of new buyers right now with dirt-cheap gas and hybrid vehicles, they'll have a massive advantage when it's time to sell EVs. Why? Because the hardest part of launching new tech is customer trust. And after giving buyers the best deals of the decade, Stellantis will have trust in the bag. Think about it. A customer who saved $20,000 on a Ram or Grand Cherokee today is very likely to buy a Stellantis EV tomorrow, especially if Stellantis undercuts Tesla, Ford, and GM on price too. This isn't just a business move, it's battlefield strategy. Meanwhile, pressure is mounting in Detroit. Ford's electric division is bleeding billions. GM's EV program is behind schedule. Toyota is stuck between hybrids and hydrogen. And Tesla, while still strong, is no longer shielded from price pressure like before. Stellantis just turned the entire market into a discount-driven war zone, and Tesla's premium positioning suddenly looks vulnerable. If Stellantis introduces a $25,000 long-range EV in 2026, something insiders claim is already prototyped, Tesla's entry-level market could collapse overnight. But here's the twist that has analysts stunned. Stellantis isn't just targeting customers, they're targeting infrastructure. Leaked communications suggest Stellantis is planning to partner with energy companies to build a proprietary charging network, one that offers lower costs, faster charging, and incentives exclusively for Stellantis owners. If they lock down both the cars and the infrastructure, they won't just be an automaker anymore, they'll be an ecosystem, the Apple of vehicles, the Android of mobility, and this 60% discount blitz is the spark. And yet, there's still a piece of the puzzle missing, something even bigger that Stellantis appears to be preparing behind the scenes. Insiders say the company is quietly negotiating a move so enormous, so game-changing, it could shake the structure of the global auto industry and completely blindside every competitor from Detroit to Tokyo, something that could explain exactly why Stellantis is burning profits like never before, acting like a company preparing for a radical transformation, and that reveal, it's coming next. Sources deep inside the industry now claim Stellantis is preparing for one of the most shocking acquisitions in modern automotive history, a move so massive it would instantly reshape global market power. Rumors point to Stellantis quietly positioning itself to buy out a collapsing rival, potentially securing factories, technologies, and market share in one explosive strike. And analysts say there are only 3 realistic targets: a struggling US automaker, a financially shaky European brand, or an EV startup that's running out of cash but loaded with valuable technology. Any of these would be a tectonic shift. All of them together, it would be an auto industry earthquake. Insiders say Stellantis has been in hush-hush talks with banks and investment groups to build an enormous war chest, something companies only do when gearing up for a transformative takeover. This is the missing puzzle piece. This is why Stellantis is moving vehicles at fire sale prices. This is why they're sacrificing short-term profits. Because if they vacuum up enough market share right now, their valuation spikes, and with it, their buying power. Stellantis isn't playing checkers, they're playing corporate warfare chess, and they're several moves ahead. And here's the part competitors fear the most: whichever company Stellantis targets would give them instant control over technologies and factories they don't currently have. Imagine Stellantis gaining access to a struggling EV startup's ultra-efficient battery tech, or acquiring a rival's iconic brand and turning it into a low-cost powerhouse guided by Stellantis pricing strategy. Imagine Imagine them swallowing up a competitor's entire dealer network in one stroke. If any of that happens, Stellantis wouldn't just dominate, it would monopolize momentum in a way the industry hasn't seen in decades. Wall Street is already whispering. Some believe Stellantis wants a major electric platform. Others think it's after a US manufacturing footprint to avoid tariffs and expand output at breakneck speed. And some think Stellantis is hunting for a legacy brand that's been losing money for years, just waiting for a takeover to save it. The fact that Stellantis is smiling through this 60% discount chaos means only one thing: they know something the public doesn't. But there's another twist, one that's emerging from leaked internal reports. Stellantis isn't just preparing for US dominance, they're preparing for something far bigger: global realignment, a new structure, a new scale, a new identity. Executives are reportedly working on something being referred to internally as the Omega Plan, a long-term blueprint that could morph Stellantis from a traditional automaker into a global mobility empire, with influence across manufacturing, software, energy, and even artificial intelligence. If the Omega Plan is real, the 60% discounts we're seeing right now are just the opening salvo, the first tremor before the entire industry shifts beneath our feet. And according to insiders, the next phase of Stellantis' strategy, phase 2 of the Omega Plan, is already underway. And its objective, it's even more shocking. Phase 2 of the Omega Plan, according to insiders, is where Stellantis stops reacting to the auto industry and starts rewriting it from the ground up. This phase is internally described as market reset mode, and its purpose is nothing short of staggering. Stellantis wants to permanently break the traditional pricing model of the automotive world, not disrupt it, destroy it. How? By doing something nobody believed was possible: normalizing ultra-low vehicle prices as the new global standard. Not just discounts, not just promotions, but a permanent shift in how cars are priced, built, sold, and owned. Stellantis wants to eliminate the bloat, the markups, the dealer gains, and the inflated MSRPs that have dominated the industry for 2 decades. Their plan is to force every automaker to follow their lead or collapse under the pressure of being overpriced, outdated, and unable to compete. This is where the scary part begins for competitors. Stellantis has the manufacturing footprint to actually pull this off. With factories in low-cost regions, massive parts sharing across brands, and a supply chain built for scale rather than luxury pricing, they can profit on slim margins. Ford and GM can't. Toyota and Honda can't. Tesla definitely can't. Stellantis is built for high-volume assault, and they're unleashing it now. Phase 2 also includes an even more aggressive move: the global expansion of Stellantis Direct, their emerging direct-to-consumer model. If they succeed, dealerships become optional, not obsolete, but secondary. Stellantis wants to sell vehicles the same way people buy smartphones: online, transparent pricing, fast delivery, no negotiation. This is their attempt to do what Tesla did, but for the mass market. And with 60% discounts drawing millions of new customers, Stellantis is building a customer pipeline that competitors won't be able to break. But that's still not the most shocking part. Another leak suggests Stellantis is preparing to roll out something unprecedented: a lifetime value ecosystem. Instead of selling you one car every 6 to 10 years, Stellantis wants you locked into a system where you buy, trade, upgrade, and service all within their network, like a subscription that never ends. This includes EV charging benefits, software bundles, maintenance plans, loyalty bonuses, and even multi-vehicle family deals. Every element designed to make switching to another brand feel financially impossible. Analysts now fear that Stellantis could become the first automaker to achieve something Silicon Valley has been trying to do for years: turning transportation into a subscription-based ecosystem where one company controls everything, from the car you drive to the power that charges it. And phase 2 is just the acceleration. But according to insider sources, there is a phase 3, and it's the part that has both governments and global automakers terrified. A phase so bold, so massive, and so industry-shattering that if Stellantis pulls it off, it won't just dominate the automotive world, it will redefine mobility itself. Phase 3 of the Omega Plan is where Stellantis stops competing with other car companies and starts competing with entire industries at once. This phase, insiders say, is internally referred to as mobility dominion, and its objective is nothing less than world-changing. Stellantis wants to control not just the cars people buy, but how people move, how cities operate, how energy flows, and how transportation systems around the world function.